Is there a lesson for you, for anyone else looking at this?
Well, he's dead, so, in general, you always have to be careful.
This is massive. All those lies Bill Gates told about his so-called innocent connection to Jeffrey Epstein are finally unraveling, and rumor has it Gates is already planning to skip town. Remember when Gates insisted he only met Epstein for philanthropy? Well, tell me, does any of this look like charity to you? New photos just dropped from the Oversight Committee, and they're shocking. They show Gates on Epstein's private jet with women who were reportedly Epstein's victims.
That you had a number of meetings with Jeffrey Epstein. What did you know about him when you were meeting with him, as you've said yourself, in the hope of raising money?
I had dinners with him.
And even a framed photo of Gates hanging inside Epstein's mansion. Can you believe that? For years, Gates denied having any real friendship with Epstein, claiming they didn't even meet until 2011. But these new documents say otherwise. Apparently, their connection stretches all the way back to the 1990s. And at the center of it all is a woman named Melanie Walker, who once worked for Epstein before Gates brought her into his foundation. Some even speculate Melanie was used as a honeypot, sent by Epstein to dig up dirt on Gates, but that's not where the mess ends. Reports also claim Epstein helped Gates cover up an affair with a Russian woman named Mila Antonova, and all of that allegedly happened before 2011, the same year Gates swore was their first meeting. Now, people aren't just calling Gates arrogant anymore. They're calling him something far darker after these new Epstein leaks. On December 18th, the Oversight Committee released a second batch of photos from Epstein's estate, and the details are straight up disturbing. More images show Gates with women whose faces are blurred out, along with screenshots of supposed payment logs and text messages that seem to reference offers for girls. One chilling message even says, "I have a friend scout. She sent me some girls today, but she asked for $1,000 per girl." How twisted is that? But the worst part? Investigators found photos of women's body parts with handwritten quotes from Lolita scrawled across them. And despite Gates repeatedly denying any friendship with Epstein, these leaked photos reveal a framed picture of Gates displayed proudly on Epstein's wall. What kind of casual acquaintance gets that kind of tribute? And here's where it gets even deeper. Gates swore he didn't know Epstein before 2011, but records trace their connection all the way back to 1992. That's when Melanie Walker, a young neuroscientist at the time, first crossed paths with Epstein in New York. From there, the web of secrets only gets messier, and every new leak seems to drag Gates further into Epstein's dark world. Epstein reportedly promised Melanie Walker big opportunities in the science world, and over the next few years, she worked as his science advisor, helping him link up with top researchers and academics. Sounds professional on paper, but wait till you hear how Bill Gates steps into this picture. In 2006, Gates hired Walker as a senior program officer at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Now come on, are we really supposed to believe the billionaire tech genius hired her for such a powerful role without checking her background first? Walker was already a known associate of Epstein by then, and her ties to him weren't exactly a secret. Her connections could have easily popped up in her resume, references, or through whispers in elite science circles. So what made Gates overlook that? Now, fast forward to their so-called first meeting in 2011. Here's what's wild. Epstein had already been convicted of serious crimes 3 years earlier. That means Gates knew exactly who Epstein was when he agreed to meet him. And yet, he still went ahead and met up with a man the entire world already knew had a dark reputation. That first meeting reportedly took place at Epstein's Manhattan townhouse, and afterward, Gates even sent an email to his colleagues saying Epstein's lifestyle was intriguing. Seriously? What could possibly be intriguing about that kind of lifestyle? But it didn't stop there. Gates didn't just meet Epstein once. He met him again just weeks later, in May 2011, alongside some big names like JP Morgan executive James Staley, Gates' own science advisor Boris Nikolic, and even former Harvard president Larry Summers. Between 2012 and 2013, Gates was spotted multiple times at Epstein's New York residence, and flight records allegedly show Gates boarded the infamous Lolita Express in 2013. That same year, Gates and his then-wife Melinda reportedly visited Epstein's Upper East Side mansion together. Melinda later said that visit made her feel deeply uncomfortable, and she even confronted Bill about his connection to Epstein. And when she filed for divorce in 2021, she confirmed that Gates' disturbing ties to Epstein were one of the major reasons their marriage fell apart.
You know, it was also widely reported that Bill had a friendship or business or some kind of contact with Jeffrey Epstein, and that you were not, that was very upsetting to you. Did that play a role in the divorce at all in this process?
Yeah, as I said, it's not one thing, it was many things. But I did not like that he'd had meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, no.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you made that clear to him?
I made that clear to him. I also met Jeffrey Epstein exactly one time.
Did you?
Yes, because I wanted to see who this man was. And I regretted it from the second I stepped in the door. He was abhorrent. He was evil personified. I had nightmares about it afterwards. So, you know, my heart breaks for these young women because that's how I felt. And here I'm an older woman. My God, I feel terrible for those young women. It's awful.
You felt that the moment you walked in? I didn't realize that.
He was awful.
Yeah. And you shared that with Bill, and he still continued to spend time with him?
Any of the questions remaining about what Bill's relationship there was, those are for Bill to answer.
Okay.
But I made it very clear how I felt about him.
Mm-hmm.
What does that say about how deep this connection really went? When Melinda Gates talked about meeting Epstein, she didn't hold back. She said he gave her the creeps, calling him evil, and even claiming she had nightmares about him afterward. That's chilling. But here's where things get messy. Some people have questioned Melinda too, saying she might not be telling the whole story. Think about it. How could she instantly know he was evil unless she saw something suspicious or flat-out criminal going on? And if she did, why didn't she speak up sooner? It's strange to label someone evil personified after just one brief meeting, unless something truly unsettling happened behind closed doors. Now back to Bill and Epstein. By 2014, the two were reportedly working on what Epstein pitched as a philanthropic fundraising project with J.P. Morgan Chase. Epstein wanted Gates to front the operation as the main donor while he'd quietly take a cut from the raised funds. But the project fizzled out before it began. And honestly, that might have been a lucky escape, because something way darker unfolded that same year. In 2014, one of Gates's personal engineers was arrested at his estate for allegedly engaging in illegal activities online. And just like that, the story vanished. It was scrubbed from headlines almost instantly, like it never happened. But now, that case is resurfacing, and some people are whispering that this engineer might have been used as a scapegoat to protect someone higher up. What really went down behind those mansion walls? Even after that scandal, the connections between Gates and Epstein's circle didn't stop. They just went quieter. Meetings still happened, though less often. But by 2017, things started heating up again. Freshly leaked messages from Epstein's estate show that in 2017, Epstein was texting someone labeled only as Melanie, and digital traces point directly to Melanie Walker. In these messages, Epstein discussed his meetings with Bill Gates, including one that supposedly involved Jared Kushner at the White House. They even swapped thoughts about Middle East peace efforts, except Epstein didn't sound interested at all. Melanie messaged him, "Not sure Bill Gates interested in peace process, mostly technologies." Epstein coldly replied, "No peace, boring and not happening. Grow up." Can you imagine that tone? One of the texts even reads, "BG meets with Trump, March 20th, 21st, clearly referring to Gates's real-life meeting with Donald Trump on March 21st, 2017. These weren't random chats. Epstein was plugged into high-level discussions, and he knew exactly who was meeting whom and when. By 2018 and 2019, journalists finally started poking around Gates's connection to Epstein, but they all tried to downplay it, claiming the meetings were just about philanthropy. Yeah, right. With messages, meetings, and secret plans piling up, that excuse sounds weaker than ever. Then came the summer of 2019, and everything flipped. Epstein was suddenly arrested on serious federal charges, and just a month later, he was found dead in his cell under those mysterious circumstances everyone still talks about. Convenient, right? That's when Bill Gates finally broke his silence, brushing it all off by saying his meetings with Epstein were just a foolish mistake. But come on, after everything we've seen, that sounds way too easy. Sources say Gates seemed relieved that Epstein was gone, almost like he thought that was the end of it, that all the shady connections, the meetings, the photos would just fade away. But nope, the public didn't forget, and now with these new photos spreading everywhere, there's no hiding anymore. These images paint a picture that Gates can't rewrite, no matter how many PR statements he puts out. One user on X summed it up perfectly, posting, "How many times does Bill Gates have to appear in the Epstein Files before people question his interest in saving the world?" That question hits hard, and it's one a lot more people are starting to ask. The truth might have been buried once, but it's all bubbling back to the surface. And this time, the world's watching. So what do you think really happened behind closed doors? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more wild breakdowns like this one.